We are live. Yay. Hello, everybody out there. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, I am here live. Almost
He's
wasn't.
here.
I almost
Princess
wasn't.
is here too.
Yes, that is. Someone's dog doesn't like the sound. Um,
You know what? Y'all go. Y'all get out. There we go. Problem solved.
Coffee. He reminded me.
I happy to be here. I almost wasn't. I had some situations last night that didn't. It was like I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to be here, but
Was it the
here I
show
am.
or
No, no, it was just health, and I had to continue. Some of it went on this morning, and but I'm here, so
Well,
let's
I'm
see.
glad you're feeling slightly better.
Yeah. I'm feeling better now. I still got. I have to. Thankfully, this show allows me to sit, and you'll probably notice I'll be a little bit more quieter tonight.
Small wins. I'm
Just
kidding.
finally, right? Finally, a little bit more quieter. Um,
Never.
but yeah, so we are excited to be here. I'm actually broadcasting to my Facebook as well. Something I don't do that much anymore.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so broadcasting to my Facebook as well. Always a treat to have everybody here with us. I also, I think that we have a who else do we have here with us tonight? Uh, okay, I'm just looking in the chat to see if anyone's in there right now. We do have
There we
someone
go.
coming in though, yeah. Uh, we also have someone coming in there in the green room. We're gonna hit the intro though. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We got a lot to talk about, and then we're gonna talk to our guest about his book Pipe Dream. We're gonna let Josh do all that though. That he's got the hard work tonight.
That's the only reason you brought me on here, anyways. This is backup voice.
Yeah, he's doing the heavy lifting tonight.
I'm alternate Randy.
Yeah.
Well, you see, there's the thing with this thing, and that's what you don't understand.
So we're gonna go. I'm gonna roll the intro, and I'm gonna come back with introductions. Everyone does their
It's
introductions.
all love,
and,
Randy, when you come in. By the way.
All right, here we go. Hello, everybody out there.
Hey, we got another contestant.
This is
Fantastic.
INDIEVOLT. Hello, everybody out there. My name is Varian Grant, co-owner of Last Call Comics. Been so for the last 8 years. It is official. March marks the 8th year. And founder of INDIEVOLT Media LLC. Got my start making comics way back in 2008. My first book ever published was a black and white interior action comedy called Psycho Sirens. I am a father, a husband, a geek, a creator, a publisher, a reluctant taxpayer, and artist. Shamefully, not in that order. And you're watching INDIEVOLT Live. Tonight I'm joined by, as always, Lola. And Mr. Josh Lyman.
Hello.
The Indie Devil's in here. And we have Johnny. Johnny, I should have asked you before we went on there. Is that Segura?
I'm not picky. You can pronounce it however you like.
Segura?
Segura.
I like Segura. Segura sounds so exotic.
I like the
I've
Funimation
heard
style.
every way you can imagine. I've heard people pronounce it. So
Josh, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Josh Lyman. I am an independent freelance comic artist. Translation, I draw whenever people pay me. I have worked for several indie comics. I've worked a couple of slightly higher tiers, including Aspen Comics, as well as the ACO Magical World of Professional Sketch Cards for Tops and Rittenhouse, Upper Deck, all those other fun people. And nowadays, I just trying to rediscover who I am. Nice, short, and simple. Your turn, Johnny.
It's your turn, Johnny. Tell me about who you are.
I wasn't aware that was legit. I thought Josh was just Never mind. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I was being snarky, but it's all good.
You have to understand, my English is never, good, for lack of better words.
I tried French, and it didn't work for him either.
Dude, I tried French in 6th grade, and I got transferred out of that shit before the first 6 weeks was up.
I got a D in Spanish because I drew on the back of my test paper after she said turn paper over once you're done.
I almost failed 5th grade for that shit.
Yeah.
My 5th grade teacher hated me drawing, And she said everything I would draw or she would throw away. So I would finish my test early and doodle on the back. Nope.
Right. Because then everyone knows what yours is.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, go ahead.
That was on the notifications.
I'm sorry, Josh. I thought it was my turn.
I'm sorry. The notification sounds.
Loves you. Anyway, my name is Johnny Segura. I'm an independent comic artist. I usually write and draw my own stories and books and other kinds of fun stuff. I've done numerous indie books for various people. Like Josh, I've also been on a couple of the Marvel card sets. And other than that, I just draw what makes me laugh or what what I feel good about.
Yeah, that's yeah. I wish I could feel good about my drawings, but I don't. And then we got the indie devil here with us.
Hey.
Yeah, Mr. Rob Anderson. Rob, you there?
What's going on, Varian?
Yeah, introduce yourself.
How you feeling? You feeling
the indie devil. I'm feeling like there are people who get away with things because the community doesn't hold them accountable. That's my current mood.
I'm sorry to hear that. But please go ahead.
And we do have Rob with us. Rob's going to come in because he's coming in because we do have a question for Rob that was sent in. But we also want to shout out that Randy Zimmerman, who's obviously usually here, is not here tonight. He said, sorry, heading for bed. It has been a long day and could be a long night. Hope everybody has a great show, and I'll be back for the Breakfast Buzz Thursday at 9 a.m. Randy, we miss you. We will see you
Feel better, dude.
morning. So yeah, today's show is going to be a slightly different one. I don't have Randy here to control me. Can't hold me back. But what was that?
I said,
you're right about that. You could still mute me. So I'm gonna go into one of the questions here, and I want to see if before we start talking to Mr. Segura about his book, I'm going to.
It works. Funimation works.
I'm gonna bring in a question here from JC. Who's the one to reading tonight? If Randy's not here to do the reading,
I'll fall on the sword.
Okay, all right.
All right. Our first question of the evening is, when do you think the coronavirus will cause shipping delays with publishers who print overseas?
Well,
the great silence.
Yeah, well, it already has. I found out. I posted a question. Somebody asked a question similar to this in a post. I believe it was on Rob's page about Comic-Cons being canceled, and I told him that I had already ended up suffering. But well, I don't call it suffering because my suffering and I getting my books is nothing compared to the people who are ill right now. But I can't get books right now. I decided to print overseas, and so I can get a larger quantity of books. And I had no idea the virus is going to come or what they were going to do. But I've been told that the books that I ordered will not ship until maybe late April, and that's optimistic. So I mean,
that sucks.
Yeah. So I mean, only thing I can do is, go to a stateside printer or a Canadian printer.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a printer that I go to for smaller print-on-demand copies, but that price that I got for the print-on-demand copies, is going to be high. So it's a print-on-demand. Obviously, there's a price difference.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people know that. Not a lot of people understand that. And as far as I do believe that sooner or later we will see a few shipping delays. I think that we're going to see, I think we'll see some shipping delays, and at the same time, I don't think we're going to notice it because the larger companies, Marvel, DC, who might be printing in China, have already made those changes. I would like to think that they've seen, okay, we're not going to get anything out of there for a couple months, so let's start printing over in Canada or somewhere else where we can get the books shipped. It's now shipping. It's unfortunate, but I feel like a prick complaining about it. It's not a Varian book problem. It's a human health crisis, and I think that we should be I would rather be late with some books rather than people out there losing their lives. I just don't feel right bitching about it. However, there have been some conventions that have canceled, so that's a whole new problem. We didn't really consider. I know I didn't consider that conventions would cancel, but large crowds of people, I'm not surprised.
Did you hear about Dark Horse?
What did
Canceling?
Dark
Yeah.
Horse do?
I didn't hear you all talk at the same time. What?
You said Dark Horse?
Yeah, Dark Horse backed out of Emerald City.
Did they? Ah.
Yep, they're out. A couple other people look like they're going to follow suit because so many people are dying in Washington right now.
I mean, that's one of those situations where I feel like the actual information needs to be expanded on. So, like, as far as I know, 8 of those people are senior citizens in, like, aftercare, as far as that's concerned. So they were already contagious to begin with that. So, like, their chances of dying were much more severe. But at the same time, yeah, you're right. Seattle is one of the largest import international hubs in the United States. So I can see it having a detrimental effect. Part of me is wondering whether or not Dark Horse was at C2E2, because I wasn't there. But whether or not they just couldn't, hey, it wasn't that good a show for them or anything like that, if there are other reasons that helped extend why they're not coming to the show.
Yeah.
Well, remember, if one of their employees gets sick during that's on them. They can get sued.
Which is interesting as a concept, especially nowadays, if you think about it. Like, okay, so one person's sick and comes to work and then gets everybody sick. I guess, you can translate comic books into, like, Campbell's Chicken Soup. If somebody's fingertip gets cut off and ends up in a can, then everybody can sue Campbell.
Yeah, I mean...
But, I don't know. I'm not going to lie. There's probably around 20 or 30 artists that are all canceling because of this concern. And I sent an email in going, hey, I will happily fall on the sword of taking one of those spaces. Because I like going to repop shows because I can actually sell originals there. I don't focus on prints at those shows. I just focus on, here I'm selling commissions, I'm selling art books, and we're done.
As a traveling artist, is the coronavirus a concern for you?
Not really. I've been speculating about this, but I'm about 95% positive that I already got it back when I was in Korea.
Yeah.
Because I was down. Do you remember me messaging you during that, Johnny? Because I was down for like 3 weeks.
But isn't there various strains of it? Like, it's just that one strain that's
so
deadly.
Crazy. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like we have this this fear. If you take a second and you go back, I posted something on my own personal page recently about this, from even up and from the 70s with the swine flu and things like that. We have this propensity just generally, as a nation, that anything comes outside of the United States, it must be bad. Doesn't matter if it's an illness or if it's communism or whatever have you. That's a side topic in itself. But it really just boils down to is like we over sensationalize something that, okay, if it started here, we would have just called it a flu, like bird flu and swine flu. But you call it a virus, the norovirus, the coronavirus, so on and so forth. People suddenly go, oh my God, we're all going to die. It's a plague, because we don't have some sort of magic cure that's already been created in a facility, which might have coincidentally already created the previous thing. But borderline conspiracy theory there.
And also in China, remember, there were protests and now they're not. That's an interesting coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is.
It's always fun to see what's going on elsewhere. Like what else is going on right now? Like it's the the electoral primaries right now, and it seems to be a lot of news about, oh my God, we're all gonna die. What are you guys gonna do if we all die?
Yeah, you're right about that, Rob. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, there was a lot of protesting, and then all of a sudden it stopped.
It all stopped.
Want to thank everyone listening on IndieVolt Radio right now. All 512 listeners. Starting kind of low tonight, but IndieVolt Radio, 512 listeners is always nice. Hello, everyone out there.
They just love hearing Randy's dulcet tones.
512 people. Right now, Germany is our main, our highest country. So I can't speak any German, I would say. I need to learn how to say hello in all these different languages. But
Guten Tag.
God, I want to go to Germany.
Yeah.
Hello. Wait, that's French. My bad. I'm kidding. That's a BBC show called Allo Allo. but that's another thing.
So yeah, I think that we will start seeing some shipping delays with all publishers eventually. Those who don't figure out how to get their books over in enough time. I'm gonna bounce to the Rob question because I know Rob is, I'm not sure how long I have Rob, so I do want to bring this question up and give
Hey,
him an
fair.
opportunity to weigh in on it.
Let's bring it.
James Dunn says, "Good evening, James." So
What we got? What we got?
bring this question in.
My question, shall I?
Go ahead.
I like a challenge. I kind of want to do like a tone with this, but I'm going to avoid it. So my question for the Indie Devil, as a cam girl myself, I feel for you. But wouldn't you agree that it wouldn't be easier, at least for you, to sell your books at adult novelty stores or conventions aimed at adults like Exotica? Sin.
All right, Varian, you want me to take this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
That's
that's all
yours,
for
sir.
you, dude.
Yeah.
All right. So the first part implies the fact that, no offense to her, but she's obviously never read my book.
Mhm.
And for anyone who hasn't read my book, from an outside point of view, everyone just expects it to be an underground comic that's full of sexuality and probably graphic sexualness, including I was approached early last year from a company in France that wanted to print my book in France, and what they found out when they read it was it wasn't sexual enough. The offer is still on the table if I make my book more sexual. So it's kind of weird. Would you tell an LGBT book to go to an LGBT only convention? And that's kind of how I feel about this. So, okay, the line is I can't talk about human sexuality because that's off grounds. But how many books out there use bondage on their covers?
Oh,
How many books out there are tying up their characters and not really talking about the community, but just using it to get people excited and titillated so they buy a book? But when you try to actually take something seriously and have a real conversation about it, people get offended, and it's what, not good enough, or it's out of place at a convention where you have Deadpool, a guy who kills people for money, walking around as a 12-year-old dressing up as them, or Harley Quinn, little 14-year-olds running around. But I'm the one that's out of place. Maybe we need to take a deeper look into everything. To the actual person's question, I will go to novelty shops, but I won't stop going to conventions because it intimidates or maybe upsets someone. That's okay if it does. Everyone's all right. I believe that I'm allowed to offend everyone, so I allow them to be offended. And if they want to be offended, that's their right. And I'm happy to offer them a hug or a free spank. And I'm there for them if they need it. But no, I don't think that I should run away and hide in a corner because society's not ready to be adults and have adult conversations. Because if we don't keep pushing to have adult conversations, we're only going to go backwards. And sooner or later, we're just going to be having, creators going around abusing women in the community, not standing up against them. That could happen.
And that's a good way to look at it too. Now, Rob, as a quick cross question for this as well, do you find that more of these, let's call it novelty conventions, Exotica and all the other ones, are more expensive as well, or more exclusive in the sense of like they prohibit the ability for you to get out there and promote your book?
Well, I mean, look at it this way. I'm a comic book creator, right? So, of course, it's more expensive because it's a niche community. And these people aren't coming to read a comic. And again, my comics aren't graphic. People who are showing up there are pretty much looking for the bells and whistles. They're not your average person who's just coming off the street that is into this. These are the people who live usually in the Midwest, because I have been to some of these events, who can't be who they want to be in real life. So they come to these conventions to play out a fantasy. They're not looking for a book to tell them to have a relationship. They're too afraid to have a relationship at home. So they're buying their partners a lot of times. They're married and they won't tell their wife that they have someone doing these things to them because they've been too afraid to come out of a closet, for lack of a better term, and be themselves. So yeah, there's a bigger price point, and on top of it, I'm not really supposed to be there. But when I went to FetCon for the last 2 years, everyone's like, you made a comic? Like it was unheard of, because I'm standing around talking to porn actresses who love my comic and want to be in my comic, and I'm like, I don't think you understand my comic.
Yeah, my content.
But we can keep talking.
But it's a good cross promotion. Now, Johnny, you did a fetish con, right?
I was going to, but then
That's right. It canceled or something like that.
yeah, like everything was going along, and it was like, all right, well, you know, we can't pay you for any of the promo art you're doing, but we'll get you a free table, we'll get you a hotel. And I'm like, I'm 100% okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always down for a free trip if I can, you know, sell my shit there. And then something ended up happening, and the show ended up canceling. But like,
like somebody went out and protested or something like that.
man, that was years ago. Like,
It was a while ago.
I barely remember breakfast, let alone that shit.
Rob, one of the things I enjoy about Johnny is much in the same way he writes what he wants to write, and then he draws it and creates it. And so it's one of those good things about that. And for anybody who's new tuning in with Rob's work, he does both family friendly, and then he also does, and in my opinion, his BDSM related stuff is very PG-13. But that's my opinion.
It really is, actually, but
yeah,
they'll never get that because it's about a community that's over.
Yeah, they assume that it's that. I mean, the same thing can be said with like furries and whatever have you, any subculture, whatever it may be. You know, it's, you know, you dress up as a car to the parody the Family Guy thing, but it just boils down to is anything that is unknown is more than likely to be considered more of a taboo.
Yep.
But Varian, how do you feel on this situation? How do you feel about being driven towards a niche market? Like, okay, let's say you had one that's you know, you went to Blurred Con in Washington D.C.
You know, I've often thought about that, and I've been asked to come to some you know, black creator shows, and I have no problem with it. I'm always kind of confused as to sometimes like why, to be honest, why we need it. Sometimes I've been confused about it because I'm like, well, no one told us we can't go to the other shows. However, I guess they feel that sometimes black creators need a spotlight, and you know, I can understand. I can understand that. I've gone to a few of those shows. I've done them. But you know, I think to be pushed to that, like to be told, hey, why don't you do this, and it'll be a little less aggravating for you. I mean, like Rob says, don't I have the ability to offend? I want to offend you. I've done shows, to go back to what you said, being the only African American there, I did a show in Kokomo, Indiana. Yeah. And when I walked into the convention, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And that's the year I met.
It's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. I've been tricked. I'm waiting for the the Grand Master? I'm like, I got you. You know,
ready on 3. Oh yeah, God,
yeah. No. It was a really interesting show, but no, everyone's been friendly.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but I would feel real bad if I was told, hey, you got to go to an adult show.
Well, it's funny because in a similar vein, because Rob's brought this up before on other podcasts, and I think I was on 1 or 2 of them, but I always stand on the same boat that I feel anytime that you force people into one genre or one niche or one zone of a show, be it, you know, this is the, you know, Pride Alley, or this is the, you know, creators of color, or, you know, what's the other term that everybody uses? Minority. That's the other one I've seen at shows as far as that. Minority creators. And you put everybody in that designated section, it just creates more conflict and no more unity. And I mean, I feel like Comic-Con should accept everybody in that capacity. So, yeah, sorry. Random expanding on that topic.
Yeah, see, I kind of agree with that. Like, I think that whenever you start forcing labels upon people, then all you're doing is just creating problems.
I think my only real contrast to that will be like, hey, don't put the soap person in Artist Alley. give them a crafter section.
But side note, Exotica is fucking expensive, man. Whenever they had one,
kind of what I wanted to touch on, because it was like $1,300 for a booth last I checked.
Yeah.
Whenever they were in Dallas, the last year they were in Dallas, I was in talks to get into it, but it was $600 for the smallest booth they offered. And Tim Vigil told me he did not do too well there, so that's
Tim
why
Vigil is like, that's his audience.
Yeah,
they told Lola that it would be it was like, what did it tell you? 2,500. Yeah,
Yep.
2,500. And it had to be her company because, she has. Yeah, she could have went by herself for a cheaper table, but yeah, they wanted top dollar, and she was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. She didn't see a profitable way to do it either. It was like that's too much money. So
Yeah, fuck a bunch of that.
yeah.
So Rob, just to I guess put a pin on this, or a period or whatever have you. Basically, you'd be like, hey, I don't see any. You're saying, hey, why should I be segregated to this one section?
Or
why
this
can't we
one
just include
idea
this? Yeah, one
that I
idea,
could
and
just be
that's
in
good.
an adult store.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it. You can just be in an adult store. Okay, then take Deadpool and Harley Quinn with me.
Yeah, right.
And then let's start down everyone. Where are we going to stop that line of censorship? Where are you all going to be comfortable? Should we bring out the burkas? Is that where America's heading?
Yeah, hopefully not.
Burkas is sexy. Yeah.
I don't know. Burlap. Some people are tactile. I know they're not made of burlap, but there's an exaggerated stereotype.
Do you guys feel that? Like Rob's got a point though. Rob has a. If the con isn't expressly, he's not going to baby con.
Yeah.
So
God, my ass would not either.
Well, example, this weekend I had a library show, and I went to a library, and I went under the writer name.
You're non de plume. Yeah.
I
Right.
think I was doing anything different. Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now you go. Sorry, it faded out. So you went under the writer name, and you were doing something a little different.
Well, I was going under the Robert Gregory I wrote all ages book, and I showed up there and some stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
I understood where I was, and I respected that this wasn't a place for that.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm, despite having a fetish agenda, I'm not trying to push the fetish agenda at middle school.
Which is good.
That's not the point.
Bringing a whole new definition to the Scholastic Book Fair.
Whole new definition.
I got $5. I'm gonna get myself 3 Garfields and what the hell? It was on sale.
That's really messed up. Oh man, I see. I should not have worried about Randy not being there.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I think that. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm trying. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties on this end.
So good.
Yeah, I guess it's all working correctly now. So anyway, I'm
2 questions down.
Yeah, 2 questions down. 1 more to go.
Just one.
2 more to go. 2 more to go. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. We're gonna put this one up real quick, and I'm gonna put this up real quick because I don't agree with the question. I don't agree with the statement. It's not even a question. I don't agree with the statement. I don't agree with it, but I think I know who sent it in, and if it is that person, we're gonna have some words later. But here we go.
Here we go. It's blank. All right. So you want to make comics? Invest in learning the craft and trade, write a book, draw a book, buy a table at a show. If at any point you find your mentor's tongue in your mouth, you're doing it wrong. Quit trying to get in the easy way. Do the effing work. By J.R.
It's not that JR either. Not the JR I know.
The only one I know has been dead for years.
So what do we feel about that? I know that there's Chuck is in there.
It's crazy group of people.
Look, if somebody were to tell me, I know what they're referring to. We haven't talked about it. We try to talk about it on this show, but yeah, so what? You know what? Yeah, I imagine somebody could. Somebody could do something like that, and you should back away from anybody trying that. If you're here for to make comics, that's fine. But
hey, Varian,
I'm not. Yeah.
How come the question isn't why are mentors sticking their tongue down young, impressionable people who look up to their mouths. Why isn't it that question? Why is it always blame the person who's in a position of looking up to someone and idolizing them? And of course, we all know, everyone knows that when you're in a position where you can influence someone, that carries power with it.
Mhm.
It's why at every job they tell you, when you're the boss, don't be hitting on your workers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a rule for a reason.
I
Yeah.
think they might
How
have
come the
phrased
question's
it
not
just
that?
so that it was generic enough to try and be like, oh, well, this is just existentially a question based on events that have occurred.
It definitely sounds like they're trying to blame a woman, because this is usually always towards a woman, not towards
Yeah.
a man.
Yeah.
This is never, why did that guy sleep with that girl? That has never been said. It's always, well, the woman chose to do this, so it must be her fault. It's disgusting.
No, I'll thoroughly disagree.
Johnny
on
looks
that,
Johnny
too.
looks
I'm
bothered. He
like,
wants to say
that's not her
something.
fault.
Johnny
You
looks
know
bothered.
what? Like, everybody can fuck whoever they want to fuck.
Yep.
And, like, who gives a shit? Like, if you're not hurting anybody, or, as long as it's completely consensual, do whatever you want. If there's benefits in it, well, then congratulations. Not only do you get the fuck, but you also get cool shit out of it. Like, why is it so? I mean, people marry people to get the tax breaks. So, I mean,
I tried, but then it was on tax breaks.
We did have a trope back in the 80s and 90s, especially with serialization of TV shows about taking power through sexual control or sexual empowerment. But nowadays, I don't know. It's a little bit trickier as far as that's concerned. Like if we're using the broad question as far as that's concerned, yes. If you're trying to get into comic books, it's very difficult. I started, I quit, and I'm trying to get back in again. Like, I basically started and said, yeah, this doesn't pay the bills. I started doing everything that paid the bills, and I'm slowly getting back into comic books.
I think
That's
what
the short version.
I think what that person was talking about was, I mean, really, I think
We
they're
know
targeting me
what they're
because-
talking about.
Yeah, well,
but
they're targeting me because when I first got into comics, I asked Rob for help, and he spanked me every day. And no, but in all seriousness, I think that, I mean, look, we gotta that question can go both ways. Don't try to, I think that Rob's right. There's a time where you have to ask the men, "What did you do?" And
Oh, we
why
know what
you
he
do
did.
Yeah,
Right.
and then
And-
oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and Varian, don't you dare forget that you were asking for the spank. You got what you asked for, you little slut. So don't be crying now. You got everything you asked for.
Everything I asked for.
I'll be 100% real with y'all. If I could fuck my way to the top, I would. I mean, I'm a fucking cave troll, so there's no chance in hell of that happening. But I
Jack Black in Tropic Thunder.
if I could, I would.
But
Katrina says, it's just missing that girl from middle of nowhere, Michigan. Wonder where she is tonight. She was in Chicago. No, and she went to Chicago. She didn't bring back a pen either. I seen her book bag get adorned with pens. That was ridiculous.
so confused.
Chuck says, they could use some 100% Chuck. Chuck, if you want to come in, I know you guys want to
No,
come in. I can
man,
send
Chuck is now like at least 60% produced by Nikes these days. So, quality's gone down a little bit.
Yeah, if you guys want me to send you links, just shoot me a Facebook message. I'll send you links. Just
Yeah.
join in.
But go ahead, Marion.
You need what?
Well, I was going to say, just generally speaking, it's like, so
I got you.
regardless of your business, doesn't matter if you're cooking, doesn't matter if you're selling stocks, doesn't matter if you work retail, anything like that.
Mhm.
If somebody is, much like what Rob was saying, in a supervisory or a control position, and then they push that and they turn it into a sexual relationship of any kind, or a further than intimate than, consensualized, consensual period, then it's just wrong. But from the other side of it, it's like in your industry, you have to make those choices. I've, made a couple of random mistakes with, people at shows as far as like choosing who to date. But I think it kind of goes back to the old adage of don't poop where you eat.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, if you have a relationship that started outside of a convention and you're able to share that together, that's fantastic. But if you start as a business relationship and then you try to forward your business relationship through an intimate nature, from either side of the equation. That's just, it's not going to work out well. So,
And then, I've been asked by guys before, hey, why do you bring your wife to every show? And it's because I don't have to deal with BS. I let her do all the flirting. But speaking of wives, I don't know if you guys know, but lately Lola has a tip jar, and
Cool.
up top of the people are the names of people who have donated. And she just got a donation. What was it? What was it from? Juice Box donated
take a juice
$5.
box.
So she has to take a shot.
Oh, yes,
So what
the
shot
shot
will it be
jar, I
tonight?
forgot.
And we're gonna let our guest Johnny pick the shot.
Wait,
Johnny, Lola, is your
It's a
mic
booze
on, Lola?
shot. She's going to do a shot because of the tipping,
oh, that's fancy.
right?
So unmute your mic, Lola, and let them know what shots you got, so Johnny can pick.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right. I got watermelon, sour apple, cherry, and tropical punch.
Now, I don't know if y'all know this about me or not.
He doesn't drink.
Well, no, but besides that, I'm from Louisiana, and fucking watermelon is my shit. I will fuck up a watermelon, so I'm gonna go with watermelon.
Watermelon.
My favorite one.
Great minds think alike.
No, I like this one.
Shameful.
Look away.
Shot achieved.
There we go.
Unleash the beast.
Now, people have asked me.
You're muted.
Well, the people have asked me why is Lola getting paid to drink on the air, and the reason is because she's doing a comic book, and I told her I'm not paying for it. So,
All money for shots go to the independent production of said comic book.
That's right. So
Not
she's
because
drinking-
Varian's in a position of power over her. Of course.
She's drinking for a cause. But yeah, so that's awesome. We got Chuck to join us. Chuck,
What's going on, guys?
greetings.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm so happy to be here. I've been wanting to chime in and jump in for a while now.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
Welcome to the medium-sized show.
Now, hold on, Varian. You
Yeah.
can actually ask Chuck that same question you asked me because he sells my books at his table.
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks because now I got to go pull this question back up. No, the question was.
we can sum it up. Chuck, were you in during the question in regards to like, hey, how come you don't sell at more like a niche audience like Exotica?
Oh, no, I didn't actually hear that one. Sorry.
Okay, well, yeah, sorry, Varian, you got to pull it back up.
Yeah. Yep, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get it. Give me a second.
I'll get to reread it in superpower.
Yes, Glenn, and I am wearing a rocket on my head. This is my INDIEVOLT hat, and it's so sexy. And actually, it's funny because now people are recognizing me at shows
Because of the cool
because of the
skin
hat.
hat.
Yeah. Also, I've taken on
Have
the
to
name.
do a show, like a con with that.
Say again?
Hasn't seen you with a con wearing that.
Yeah. I've been wearing it lately. At least the last last 7 shows, 7 or so shows I've been wearing it. Yeah. And also, and the other thing that happened is that a guy called me the Silver Spoon Coon, and he meant it to be racist. But I'm wearing this hat, and I'm getting a big spoon that I'm gonna spray paint silver. We already got the character design. But I got to see the character. Randy designed the character. Here he is. There he is.
That's good. That's
Yep.
really good.
The Silver Spoon Coon. He is there. I'm bringing up the question. Give me 1 second. But yeah, he's an awesome little raccoon. I couldn't believe I got asked that or I got named that. And I was like, okay, I guess that's me. I'll take it. Where is it at? Where is it? Okay, here we go. Sorry. There's technical things that have to be done when I bring these questions up, guys.
Are those cinnamon bears, Josh?
Now, Varian, you
No,
know that
I
my
did
free
not.
hugs and
Same
space
thing.
sign can trigger people.
I gotta hold you.
So, be careful.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Round 2. My question is for the Indie Devil, and this time it's for Chuck. As a cam girl myself, I feel for you. But wouldn't you agree that it wouldn't be easier, at least for you to sell your books at adult novelty stores or conventions aimed at adult-like exotica? Sin.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so easier and doable are not the same thing. So could we totally go there and just sell the books at one of those? Absolutely. But as Rob has proven time and time again, and I've been able to do it even here in the Bible Belt in Texas, these books sell everywhere. So I think you just got to be a little more wary as to where you're selling them. Like I have an all ages family show coming up. I'm not selling Barbara Unleashed there, but at any of my normal shows at Comic Palooza and stuff, it'll be there.
Yeah. I think it also, like you said, it does depend on where you're selling those books at. Because you can't, like, you take them down to certain places, and they're like, "Oh no!" I would be interested to know if that book could sell in like Salt Lake City.
And it probably would actually. Salt Lake has actually got a really large alternative agenda community. They're just very quiet about it.
Glenn asked, "Was I at Great Lakes 2 weeks ago?" Yeah, I was there. I was sitting with Randy, as a matter of fact.
I think you'd have a harder time in like Missouri.
Well, like, the thing is,
yeah,
you can find all. Like, I'm starting this just because someone got so offended by my Free Hugs and Spanks poster that I've now made a site, Free Hugs and Spanks, and I will be spending the year taking pictures of people who took me up on getting spanked or hugged throughout the whole year.
There you go, starting sites again.
There we go. Awesome. I own another one. I've taken the entire internet. It's all mine now. I finally won because I own everything. It's like Monopoly. I've done it. It's fantastic. I rule everything.
And you thought I was a troll, Johnny?
That's yeah. So Chuck, you don't have a problem with that, then? You don't think you should be at Exotica?
Well, I mean, it can certainly do well there, but I don't see why we have to put anything in any one particular. Like, what, can I only sell my fantasy books at like Dragon Con and all that kind of stuff? Like, nah, man, you can sell anything anywhere.
Because and something I've experienced personally, because like for a while I got out of doing fan art and I started doing original stuff, and 90% of my original stuff is either dirty or very adult oriented. And like I have a collection of art books called Dirty Work, which is just collecting all of my dirty shit in 4 volumes of very nice adult oriented books. And as I said earlier, I live in Louisiana, so like we're talking like heart of the Bible Belt type shit. And like some of these little podunk shows I would do, like I would sell out of Dirty Works, and the constant would be people saying, like how Indie Devil said earlier, like a lot of people can't be who they want to be because of like stigmas and stuff like that. So whenever they see somebody who's selling something that is something that they like I have a whole bondage art print set that flies off the fucking table whenever I have them. And it's one of those things where like people want to be accepted for what they like, but a lot of times in like social norms and whatnot, they can't, because they're either afraid of losing their job or losing their significant other. And I don't know, it's kind of sad that it's like that. But like I've had more luck selling my dirty stuff at these smaller shows than I do at like Comic Palooza and stuff like that.
Here's the question that's going to trigger everyone. Are you guys ready? Too bad. Here we go.
Denied. Here we go. I'm ready. 39 grand and no book? Oh, sorry, I put too much exclamation. You better put out PDF pages for those that backed! Exclamation point. Let's see the proof! Exclamation point. If you got $10,000 wrapped up on pencils, there should be proof. Otherwise, bullshit is the stench. L. Nolan. Oh, sorry. Exclamation point. Always in threes.
Why is that going to trigger anyone? He's right.
What?
So for those who are tuning in,
Rob
not
just did a
familiar
heel
with the
turn.
situation,
I am the heel.
Heel turn by Rob out of nowhere. Listen to that crowd boo.
Out of nowhere? Do you not know him? Fuck.
Yeah, really, dude. I got a free hugs and spank sign and a little doll for people to show me where it hurt them. So,
Well, okay. The thing is, what Josh was saying is that a comic book creator recently admitted that his book that he published or was having published, he crowdfunded. He got up to 39 grand, and
A lot of fucking money.
yeah. He disappeared for a while, and now he's come back, and he's like, "Hey guys, mea culpa. I'm sorry. The book isn't. No, Glenn, you're not the only one here. There's other people. Everyone's really quiet tonight. Probably because they're shocked about all the different faces.
They're stunned by my handsomeness.
But
New
the guy,
arrivals.
the guy doesn't have the book. He says he's got $10,000 wrapped up in pencils.
so Varian, where's the other 27,000?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Well, I mean, you're gonna defend the guy.
As a contact.
If somebody paid me 10 grand to do pencils, they would have had that shit
You better
yesterday.
know where that money is.
In a
Well,
heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean the problem with crowdfunding is that people are investing. They're like a board, and they do demand and deserve transparency. Where'd the money go? I want a breakdown. I want to see where it went. Chuck looks flummoxed. I'm gonna let him speak. He's like, you want to say something?
Man, well, first off, it bothers me that people are coming to Kickstarter and they don't even have anything. You know what I mean? Like they got a couple pages and I will not jump onto a book unless I have at least a 5-page preview, colored, lettered, the whole fucking deal. Like I want to know that you guys are actually making this happen. But also, fuck the PDF. Like it doesn't, what is that even gonna do for you? Like he's got $10,000 in pencils, he says, which I don't even believe that shit. But then how are you gonna pay for everything else? You got
Chuck,
letters,
I think that's...
you got colors, you got printing, you got all of that. Like what is that even gonna get for you?
Chuck, I think what they're calling him out is a punk, and they're saying he's lying about the 10 grand being in pencils. I think they're just frustrated and want to see that he actually did something. Because like you said, he had $39,000, disappears for a while, and comes back and goes, "Hey guys, I sort of lost all the money. I'm sorry."
Okay, but if he showed you those pencils, would it make it any better? Like he's still a fucking punk. It doesn't change anything.
Oh, I'm with you. Remember, I'm the heel. Me and you are a heel tag team tonight.
I'm just saying, he's still a fucking punk. It hasn't changed anything.
Wasn't like 10 grand what Roberto Ramos was charging for the entire original, so that first issue of Spider-Man he did? Remember he put that on eBay a while back? Like it was a ridiculous number.
I remember a headshot or something of Scotty. What did the Spider-Man went for? What, 800? 3 grand? What was the one I sent you? I think it was like 3 grand for that black suit Spidey.
Yeah.
That he didn't even fill in the back end on that.
So that's a whole
other kettle of fish.
Now, I did like how you use the term for people doing in Kickstarter stuff like that as investing. Because I have people tell me all the time, "Oh, I'm donating to your book. I'm blah, blah, blah." It's like, it's not donating. You're pre-ordering this product.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me whenever people think it's donating. Like, oh, here's this poor artist. Let's throw him money. Like, no. It's like you're getting a fucking killer book out of it. Like, it's like you're not just giving me money and I'm just going to go, cocaine and hookers with it. Like I'm using this money.
That's where the other 29 grand went.
To fund like this project I'm doing. Like you're getting something out of it.
Really must.
Do you know what's funny? I can't hear a word he's saying, so I just keep putting in words for him because I'm trying to figure out what he's saying, and then you guys cheer him on, and it's actually kind of fun this way. So I have no idea what he's been saying all of a sudden.
Well, he was agreeing.
Really
he was agreeing with everyone in general, but he was saying like there's got a lot of people on Kickstarter that always are phrasing it like, "Oh, I donated to help fund your book," instead of like, "Hey, they're pre-ordering and delivering content."
Yeah, there it is.
Everyone says that till they don't get a book.
So this is the 39 grand.
Yep, this is the book, 39 grand. Detective Dead, Crimson Moon. It actually was higher than that, but I think he's refunded some people because he says he's willing to refund everybody as soon as he gets the money. He does not have the money's gone. I mean, he's unemployed, but he's gonna get a job and pay everybody back. That put your eyebrows down, Johnny.
I have so many questions.
He's gonna have to get a good ass fucking job.
Varian, I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday.
That's like what
for
people make in a
hamburger
year.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear what Rob said? I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Was that a good comment for you?
I'm gonna have to
update.
That's like Scarface cocaine money.
Yeah,
Right.
His update though said that
He's going live tomorrow to answer their questions.
well, that was a couple days ago, but I'll read this very quickly. I'll get to the good part. That being said, I'm stopping the production on Detective Dead. The project just costs too dang much to complete, and a lot of the expenses are going to come out of my pocket. I miscalculated campaign's finance, and I expected it to be this expensive. For anyone who wants to do a high-page campaign, I do not recommend it. I learned this the hard way. I have no excuse for my failures as a creator, and I ask again for your forgiveness. Now what I'm about to write is breaking my heart at this very moment, because on the high hopes and ideas I have for Detective Dead and other stories I was working on, I am pulling the plug on Detective Dead, and I am planning to refund every single one of you. Unfortunately, the refunds won't be right away since the campaign has used up all the funds, but I am going to refund you all. I cannot give you the exact date when the refunds will start going out, but they will be going out. So I ask you to please update your email, so when I begin to reach out to you individually, you'll be able to get your refund. And in the tweet, he said that he had $10K wrapped up in the pencils, but he also says up here, I don't know if you guys see this, on the last he had no money. I'm currently unemployed, so I can't afford to fix it. He's talking about his computer. Now, please allow me to apologize for responding to everyone's concerns. I had no way of reaching out to you all individually. When I did it, it was always on my Mac, which was the only computer I owned. He says that the Macs are notoriously expensive to repair. I'm not sure if that's. I don't know. I'm
confused because I could have sworn like the purpose of buying any of this nonsense Apple technology was for them to, fix everything.
Josh, you're gonna start a war with your shit.
I'll start that war right now.
No, he's right, but your computers aren't part of a Kickstarter. That's your own personal stuff, buddy.
Yeah, right.
But then now the question I have for Varian is, she's a publisher. How much does a comic book cost you to make, Varian? Because this is $38,000. I could do 10 comic books for $38,000. I'll be honest with you.
I'm just gonna
do a lot more.
You know what? Look, I've done a comic book on the cheap, but I'm an artist, so I lose a lot of that, that initial cost. But then again, when I have had artists do work for me, I get them a page. If I give them a page rate, I mean, I can probably get a book done. Man, I'm cheap. Probably under $1,000, honestly.
Well, I'm looking at just basic math of a trade. Let's say optimistically low end that every issue is 25 pages, right? Mm-hmm. If this person's, the quality from what I saw in that sequential wasn't bad. So as far as pencils or digital inks, whatever have you, let's say they're doing 100 for a page. Mm-hmm. That's $2,500 for a single issue before you do any lettering or coloring. And then just multiply that by 6. You're at $15K for a trade.
This was
before you do lettering and before you do anything else.
Yeah, this is the 132-page graphic novel.
132 pages. Yeah. So, alrighty. So 132 times 100.
But is all 132 pages of that going to be story? Like,
supposedly.
Here's the artwork, guys.
Yeah, so like it's supposedly going to be detailed and rendered and all this and colored everything else. It looks like super cheap coloring. So automatically, if it's just 132 pages and you didn't give them any discounts, it's at just past $13,000. And he said he has pencils. I don't see any pencils in here. I see inks. I see a lot of digital inking.
Well,
a lot of digital backgrounds.
That might have been, I'm not sure how many books he's done, so that might have just been a terminology that he used. But
okay,
I mean,
one of those things where everybody goes, "Oh, black and white must be a sketch."
Yeah,
like, I will
how you call
one of you down and shove your iPhones down your throat.
Like how you call any soda pop a Coke.
Yeah, right. The artist is doing the pencils, but 10K is a lot, and I think we all could have wrapped up. I could have probably did 19 books with that type of money. So Rival Steve says, "Show us the receipts." says,
Yeah.
I'll admit I've never done a Kickstarter before, so I have to ask how hard would it be to project these costs accurately so that you know how much you will need to complete the project.
Well,
Not
Steve,
hard
I
at
can
all.
do a short answer on that.
Go ahead.
So if you're not hiring a cover artist specifically for their cover ability, and you're not hiring a colorist for that cover artist, base rate is somewhere standard as far as industry standard is concerned is $75 to $250 a page, depending on the level of quality that you can produce per page, and that does not include coloring. If you farm out flatting, which is just the base colors as far as that's concerned, then it's like $10 a page, which makes it cheaper for you to hire a colorist. But most colorists, unless you're doing like specifically for cover work, they're still about 80 to 150 for a project per sequential page, because it's a lot of different illustrations. It's not just one.
It's a fuckload of work.
Yeah, so I mean, I can see this cost point being a standard cost point if he was trying to go with just standard professionals that are like proven, tried, and true. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like you still have to wonder where that other 20 and change went, even if he just paid for the black and white and he just was bad at budgeting for the colors and the sequentials, because like a minimum on a cover is about $2,000. You know, 500 if you're a low end.
Right. He admitted that he paid 2 bills. I think he said like 2 bills with it, but like that was it. Like he didn't waste the money. And I mean, you know, the good thing is he doesn't have to answer to Rob. Because Rob.
Yeah. Well, what's his name? I can go look for him.
Well, the comic is called Detective Dead. Have fun.
Yeah, Rob would have had him on.
Rob has his own indie thing for anybody who's
Here, I'll actually share this. Hold on. Give me 1 second. And I promise you, Johnny, we're going to get to your book.
Yeah, with all the failures, we have successes.
Take all the time in the world. I mean, I'm hourly.
So this is his tweet stream, and on when he announces that the book is canceled, and people don't get too mad, but he says the pencils alone is in the 10,000s, not including inking, coloring, lettering, and tier fulfillment. That also does not include printing, shipping, packaging. You all have every right to be upset, and I will not be defending myself. Instead, I will be in agreement with you. That's that tweet right there. I guess you guys can read.
You know what I
How
want to
many
see?
pages is that book?
Say again?
How many pages is the book?
132 pages.
You know what I want to see, though? I want to see his original math. I want him to take a picture of what he thought the book was going to cost. I want to see where he went wrong so we can actually see what really went down. Because you said it on a different program that you think that the prices went up when the Kickstarter or Indiegogo got popular. And
Okay.
I think that's a little bit
That's
of what
Kyle
happened.
Ritter. Hello, Kyle. I don't think that he did it purposely. I don't think he spent the money. I don't think he wasted the money. I think that he got, I said on a different program, I think that he got a little over his head. And the prices got too high for him. Yeah, we got Kyle Ritter in the chat. Hello, Kyle. Randy's going to freak out because Kyle's in here.
But like, I can understand if somebody had no experience and they didn't know any kind of standards or anything, and they just went with the first artist who got back to them. You know, and you know, I'm sure he didn't know that was ridiculous or whatever for the pencils and whatnot. But like, goddamn, $10,000, man! Like,
So that's $75 a page for pencils.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cheaper than that.
that's what, I'll put that up there. Hey,
It's actually just a little bit more. Like 75 point whatever. But yeah, $75 a page for pencils.
Yeah.
I get you
I
$9,900.
could see how that could happen, though. I could see how you could
just
go
don't
overboard.
I just don't see that work as being like penciled prior. As odd as that sounds.
This is people's artwork, Josh.
I'm not dissing people's art. I'm looking at the art and looking at the quality of the art and going,
Oh my God,
that's digital inking.
so what
Yeah,
you're
that's
saying, Josh,
the
is that
same
like
thing I was
entire
thinking.
thing was
Actually,
just
I was like, "There's no way there's penciling," but I didn't want to say anything because then Varian will tell me I'm a bad person.
You are
Hi,
that
Johnny.
person.
A proud bad person.
I would have.
Thank you, Johnny.
What's that, Johnny? What were you saying?
I don't fucking remember.
That's fair.
I said something. I
Yeah,
swear.
no.
Just
It
the
was
question
snarky,
is,
and I was waiting for it. I was like, "Come on, let's go."
the question is, Johnny, when are you gonna return to 10K? I'm just kidding. No.
Oh man, like,
Oh yeah.
that's gonna be rough,
If
man.
10K a page would be magic.
He
Well,
already
like,
put 5
for
grand into his mom
132
getting that
pages
kitty
even.
job. So
well, I took that 10K and then I turned it into like.
All right, well,
60
listen,
at a
guys, I'm
poker
going to
table.
tag Chuck in here.
Okay.
I got to run. I'll try to bounce back on when I get home.
All right.
Sounds
cool.
good, man. Be safe.
All right, later.
Boom.
So long story short, drugs and illegal firearms are super expensive. I found out, and you can only take so much of a loan before you get threats to break your knees.
Yes, of course. So that's why you became an artist, because it was the easy way to make that money back.
Josh.
Well, I noticed how you and Chuck quickly jumped to Chuck and Josh, and we had Pat Kowal on, who quickly did the math and came up with $75 a page.
I just use my phone. I use this Droid technology because it works quickly, and I don't require tech support for it
I don't.
Why are you adding Apple?
because it sucks.
Let's see. Kyle says, "LOL. I was on Facebook to say hi. I didn't
Live
know it
on
was
YouTube. That's correct.
Took me in to find you. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate the sub. Thank you.
Woo!
We appreciate the sub. But yeah, I think that we have to decide. That type of money being lost is going to make some people worried about backing Chuck's next Indiegogo campaign. Not mine, but Chuck's definitely.
no, yeah, I'm an issue.
Would you guys should he? Well, luckily for him, I see people saying, "Man, don't worry about it. Keep the money. It's okay." I'm trying to support you, not the book. And he's very lucky because I know people will be like, "You mother, give me my book."
Well, because we had somebody a couple of weeks back, I want to say about a month back, who was blatantly evident that this guy spent his money on something else. Right?
Yeah. He said he was spending on concert tickets and concert
Everything
movie
else.
tickets and some everything. Yeah.
Bought
But
a car, bought a couple other things.
He had more. What could you spend that money on? I could have spent it on. I don't think I spent it on comic books. It would have been like
It would have been that Michigan style jambalaya deep dish pizza.
Yeah, she
that's
said
what it would have been.
Lola said I went to the strip club. I would have been.
Sounds good, doesn't
Yeah.
it? See, it's a bread bowl like Panera, but we just put jambalaya in it, and then you can put cheese on top of it.
Man, remember that fucking pizza we had at C2E2?
Yes, I do.
Good Christ, man, that thing was like
the
goddamn
best self-pity meal I'd had in a long time.
yeah. We had what? It was 3 big old boys, and we couldn't even finish that damn thing.
Oh no, I think we demolished it between
No,
the two.
I want to say we didn't kill it till the next day.
We left one piece, I think. Like we easily took on a large chunk because we were like, oh, it's a deep dish, whatever.
That's one of those things where you hate yourself afterwards.
Yes, it was. I think we all did. Yeah, but yeah, just in general with like crowdfunding, it's a little trickier, and it's interesting when you switch back and forth between cross programs because I've been noticing there seems to be a lot more of these issues with Indiegogo versus Kickstarter.
This is they're kind of rid of
But
stuff.
Kickstarter has its own
Equal.
issues, which we will happily delve into.
That is something to worry about. I personally, I've never kickstarted or Indiegogo. I'm gonna say, well, I never crowdfunded a book ever, and I don't have to answer to any of you. And the book will be out when it's out. Damn it! But yeah. If you, but again, I mean, 38K. First of all, if anybody pays me anything, I get nervous. I'm like, I gotta get this done. Even when people pay us for books, they order through the Last Call Comics web store. I don't spend the money until that book is in the mail, and sometimes until I know they've received it.
That's a good way to look at it.
I'll take the money out and I'll go to the strip club.
Right.
But that is how that works. Now, as promised, we're gonna go on to something that is currently funding and has.
Now we're gonna do something cool and focus on positive things.
Then we definitely ain't coming to me then.
No, suck it up. Too late. We already set up the frame.
Yeah.
So
this man, listen. This man here, if you have a spare 38K, he's gonna get you your damn book. Isn't that right, Johnny?
Oh, I get it to you tomorrow with that kind of money.
If that was the case, yeah, because the book's done.
Because with that much money, I can buy my fat ass a time machine and
Yeah.
get all kinds of shit done.
Johnny's up in the middle of the night.
Johnny, I keep telling you that Monster and NyQuil cocktails are not a time machine. It just makes time move really weird.
I mean, I'm not there for it, so I mean, is it really?
I don't know what happened, but the art's done.
Just because it hasn't worked yet doesn't mean it won't work.
Yeah, you gotta do the red NyQuil, not the green. That's what it is.
Right? He just has to keep playing with different flavors. That's all.
Yeah,
Also,
you gotta go with
We
Dayquil.
going the Matrix on this shit?
So
Don't mix both of them together.
The blue quill.
Yeah, the blue quill or the red quill.
tell us about Pipe Dreams. What's it about?
Pipe Dreams is a retelling of the age-old story of a beautiful princess gets kidnapped by the evil Lizard King, and some brothers have to go and rescue her. Now, this version, super violent. Like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Like, if you're a gorehound, then this will be your book.
Okay.
And basically, it's these two brothers. They were once knights in the king's kingdom. Well, one of the brothers had the misfortune of the princess falling in love with her. So because of that, him and his brother were banished from the kingdom. And whenever she was kidnapped, they sent soldiers to try to rescue them. All came back in body bags. And their last hope is the one that they threw out the kingdom. And this story follows the two brothers going to rescue her.
Ah. And so I like that story. Obviously, I can understand now Pipe Dreams. Ha ha ha. But
Just enough. Just enough.
and
Take that copyright control.
You got 11 days left on this. $545 American. If you were in Canada, you would have done it by now.
Now, I will say this in a kind of a core defense, and this is something we were talking about briefly a few minutes ago. So Johnny has primarily done all of his other books through Kickstarter, as far as publishing is concerned. And he's probably got easily, I want to say, a minimum of 15, almost 20 of them under his belt, which have all been funded in practically I'd say 24, 48 hours typically.
Yeah, usually it's within the first day they're funded.
Yeah, but in this situation, he's ran into a lot of complications. One of them is fairly obvious, but I'll let you talk about that, Johnny. So you originally did try to put this on Kickstarter, right?
Yep. Try to go through Kickstarter because, I mean, you know,
it's your base. It's what you've been using for the last
exactly. And like in my eyes, this is parody. You know, this isn't a direct retelling. It isn't a. I'm not using the same. Like I'm not just blatantly copying everything. Like I'm putting my own spin on everything.
Yeah.
And whenever I tried to run this on Kickstarter, I had it full color, which apparently is where I fucked up. And I got hit. It was less than 3 days from it ending. It was at 3,800, I think, and then it gets taken down because I got a cease and desist from old Nintendo. And it's like I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, okay, so how is this any different from Weapon Brown?
Yeah, right.
And it's
if you guys aren't familiar with Weapon Brown, that's out of the East Coast, but it's like a Mad Max post-apocalyptic retelling.
Yeah.
I lent it to
fingers
Johnny.
up.
So the crazy thing is that if you check out Kickstarter right now, there's this Marvel Kickstarter going on. It's not actually from Marvel. It's a fanfic.
Yeah.
And so it's Storm and She-Hulk and a couple others, and it's all of them in the living single, playing the living single characters. And so it's called like Living Heroes or whatever, something like that. But it's like it's literally taking those two things, and it is those characters. They don't give them different names or anything, and they shove them in there, and they can do that shit, but you can't fucking do this. That's retarded.
And it's funny because like my first Kickstarter I ever did, because like I originally did this book over the Kickstarter was about 10 years ago, but I did the book like years before that, in my spare time when I was working at the tattoo parlor, and like it honestly compared to this, it looked like absolute dog shit. But like it was my first Kickstarter I ever did, completely in the hole. By the way, like I think by the time I was done shipping everything out, I was like $200 in the hole. But I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just happy that people wanted to buy my stupid fucking Mario book, you know?
That was the area before, the time before they said, okay, shipping is going to cost you extra. Before they started adding that as a feature, which is great, isn't it?
And shipping is where it fucked me. Shipping is still where it fucks me because every time I go to ship something, like I always find out that priority mail goes up. Like it never fails.
Like it's $7, and they're like, "Oh, it's $8.50 now."
Yeah,
you're not far off.
Oh, it's $11.50 now. Yeah,
but yeah. So, and because I originally had like a whole sequel story plan. Like the original book was left open ended, and whenever, because throughout the years, like I would always, if I had extra bucks, I would reprint it because people fucking loved it. Yeah. Like I would have people come to my table who I've never met before. I'm like, hey, do you have pipe dreams? I'm like, sorry, man. Like, I haven't had prints of that in like 3 years. Like, oh man, I really wanted to read it. Somebody showed me they got it from you at a show and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, holy shit, man. People really like this fucking book. And so I wanted to do the sequel book, but I didn't want the only version of the first story to be my first printing of it because, it's incredibly dated. Like I said, I did it, well over 10 years ago. And as most artists do, like the more you art,
better.
Exactly. Like as long as you keep doing it, that's what I love about art, man. Like as long as you keep doing it, you will progressively get better. You may not notice it until like years down the road, but you'll always find something to do different, or a shortcut, or just something that will make your life easier when it comes to making art, or make your life harder because it's tedious, but it looks fucking awesome in the end. But yeah, so I wanted to do my sequel book, which would be a whole like Smash Brothers type books. Like I already had like all the character designs. Like it was going to be fucking gnarly. Like my Link character was going to be like what would happen if like Link stayed in Hyrule the entire time for Ocarina of Time. Like instead of transporting like, to the future. Yeah, like I would have it where like Ganon captured him, threw him in a dungeon, cut his tongue out. He was tortured, like all kinds of shit. But yeah, so after all that started going down, like I decided, okay, well, I want to do this. I want to redo the first book so I can do this sequel book because like people who've read this first book, and I mentioned that I planned on doing a sequel. They're like, oh, you got to do it, And so yeah, so after that shit with Nintendo happened. I see somebody in the chat said Nintendo does not play. That is true.
Steve says Nintendo does not play. They'll strike you for a positive review.
There's this dude I follow on Twitter. I fucking love this dude's art, and he had a fanfic of Mario and stuff like that, and they shut down his Twitter for like a week. It's like
Nintendo reported it.
Yeah.
Yep. And so now, with all that happened, I'm trying this last time to get this story printed, and I'm changing up the ending to where it's going to be a definite ending, and it is going to be absolutely brutal.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a guy in a suit and it just pops up out of nowhere, cuts a hole in the universe. Cease and desist! You can't do this. It'll be Duck 'em Up style. It'll be good.
That would be about my luck, man. Like I ain't even playing, man.
But I mean, if you think about it this way, yes, you are using an archetype. At this point, Mario is easily, I want to say he's 40, 50 years old at this point.
Are we going back to like the old
Donkey Kong? Yeah, so he's at least 45 or something like that.
Oh man, I always forget that was like in the early 80s?
Yeah, early 80s and 70s. So he's at least 45 years old at this point. So I would argue that it is an archetype. That's why we use expressions like "save the princess,"
Yeah.
"save the world," and those kinds of, "save the cheerleaders, save the world," yada yada yada. But I think it's interesting because when you take the core of your story, it's got a very heavy, like almost anime story to it as well. And your style has always been very cartoon meets anime, because those are your major influences.
Oh yeah, like
between Segura and Ramos and all those other guys too, they all have similar influences in that style.
Exactly. Like I could trace back the moment whenever my art really started taking a turn. I was at Rite Aid when I was in middle school, maybe.
Yeah.
And I was, this was back whenever they had, comic book aisles and department stores and shit. And I come up to the comic aisle, and there was Danger Girl #2, I believe it was, one where it's Abby Chase in the bathtub on the cover. Mm-hmm. And it was Crimson #4. Well, my mom wouldn't let me get Danger Girl #2 for apparently
obvious reasons.
Yeah, and so I got Crimson #4, which turned out to be the better choice because that shit was fucking brutal, man. Like, it was super gory because, like, before that, all I was reading was like Spider-Man and X-Men and stuff like that. I didn't know that you could have that kind of content in comics. And so after that, like, I went to my local shop, Paper Heroes, and I was like, "Hey, Kevin, do you have, the first 3 issues of this book?" He's like, "Oh yeah." So I bought it from him, and yeah, I loved it. I collected the entire series, and then I started. And then one day when I was in high school, my buddy Adrian had a satellite TV, and he had the Stars Action Channel, and every Saturday morning they'd play nothing but anime all morning. And so one day he comes to school and he's like, "Here, man, check this out." And he hands me a VHS that had Akira, Twilight of the Dark Master, Demon City Shinjuku, and a Tekkaman Blade on it. Which I know,
extreme stuff.
Yeah, and like that was
even back then was still pretty,
and like it was
not generally accepted in the U.S.
Absolutely drop dead beautiful animation and stuff like that. And I didn't know that kind of shit existed because, once again, before that it was just like Disney and Ninja Turtles and shit.
Yep.
And so after that, like, I went down the rabbit hole with with manga, and I found a book called Hellsing, and still one of my favorite reads. Like, Kota Hirano, like, his art, his storytelling, everything is phenomenal. So, like, I was taking that and, Battle Chasers and Crimson, and whenever Scotty Young was on the Human Torch back in the day, or Car Andrews. I don't know how to pronounce this. Car Andrews? Kara Andrews? You know what I'm talking about?
Vaguely.
He did the first manga Spider-Man book.
Yeah, I remember that.
I never knew how to pronounce his first name, but love his art. And so, like, I just kind of blended, like, East and West styles, and just
like the Oni Venom design in that.
Do what?
The Oni, the demon version of Venom with the Kuraba.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry, side notes.
Since you put this book or started getting this book together, it's been running. It's running. Didn't show the date that it started. But you got 11 days left.
Yep.
11 days left. 54% complete. So we're gonna ask all of the. Right now we're at 11:22. Right now France is taking. France is over. I'm sorry, everybody who's out the country. By the way, I don't know. Are you shipping this outside of the United States?
Oh, I'll ship it anywhere you pay me.
Yeah, international rates. We'll find out the rates and ship that bad boy off. In addition, if you guys haven't seen it,
I love it. I'll do anything.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, one of the big things that Johnny does, because this is all his colors, it's all his drawing, it's all his writing and setup and production. He does all of that, but he also does a ridiculous amount of traditional Copic marker commissions. If you go to Johnny Segura the third, just like up there in the top, just skip the spaces on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you can see the level of quality of these commissions. And he can knock those out without even, blinking an eye half the time.
And what's great,
there you go.
What's great, for $50, right? You get the trade, you get you get digital PDFs. I'm offering digital wallpapers for your phone, for your computers, all that good stuff. And you also get an ash can, which is going to have
All the concept sketches.
Yeah, all the concept from Jump Street till now, and every ash can is going to be on a sketch cover stock, and I'm going to do personalized drawings on every ash can, and that's included in the price.
Yeah, so they just tell you the character, and then it just pops up on there.
Yeah,
or
so
you just kind of just do one for you.
Yep. So and then so that way, everyone who gets the ash can, you not only get this badass graphic novel that's going to be well over 120 pages. You also get this little ash can with all the behind the scenes stuff, plus a badass little doodle on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does Indiegogo have shipping as a separate pricing as well, or is that?
Yeah, whenever you choose your option, the shipping's included. Like
Okay.
they have it to where and Kickstarter started doing this too. It's where you can have it to where you just pay for your tier.
Yeah,
and then
you pay for shipping later
on extra.
Yeah,
I don't like that. I don't like being like, okay, well, yeah, hey, you backed this book, and 30 days later, okay, now you got to pay for the fucking shipping. It's like, nah, dude. With me, you're going to pay for everything up front, and that way, once the campaign's over, good goddamn well that your stuff's going to be coming in the mail soon.
And the book is finished. The book is done.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the new version. I'm
make a couple of edits.
I'm like maybe 75% done with it.
Okay.
But it should be done by the time the campaign's over and the funds come in.
So the next week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then
I'm looking at your work. I'm looking at your work on Facebook. I'm stalking you nicely. Dude, you got this Wolverine here.
Yep.
It's got this Jeff Matsuda look to it. It's fucking. Your shit is good, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, that pencil rule?
He's my buddy, but no, I know talent. On some level.
Yeah. He's got
I know,
the shit,
and he's got the skills.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, dude.
It's the only thing I'm good at, man. I'm a piece of shit person, but I can put the pencil to the paper.
Possibly one of the more honest people I've ever met on the circuit with shows as well. So for me, it was I just love people that are just straight up, don't try and BS me. So, its number one issue right now is the transition from Indiegogo from the Kickstarter.
Now, Johnny, were you at Wizard World New Orleans?
He's been at a couple, but not this recent one.
I haven't been to that show in a while. It just got
years?
too expensive for my taste.
Okay.
With the cost of parking and everything, and then
hotels and everything else.
And I don't know. I don't want to sound like a wham or nothing, but out of all the places I've ever been, New Orleans is one of the only places where I don't feel safe. As weird as that sounds.
No, it's accurate.
And because I live about 3 hours away from New Orleans, right? Mm-hmm. So all my life I would hear people, spending the weekend in New Orleans and blah blah blah, and almost every person I would talk to either had stories of them getting robbed, getting their car broken into. One dude got stabbed, and it's just one of those things where it's hearing that growing up my entire life, and it's I'm good. But the first con I ever did was MechaCon in New Orleans.
Oh, MechaCon.
Oh yeah, it's dead now.
I'm not surprised. I'm kind of happy about it. But
Lola has a New Orleans story. We were just down there first weekend. Lola, tell him what
I
happened
heard you
to
guys had some fun.
Yeah. Tell him what happened to you, Lola.
We did have fun, but we went to Bourbon Street and I got pickpocketed.
Shit.
All they got was my cigarettes. They could have got my phone and my money too, but luckily they just got the cigarettes.
It was a drunken pickpocket. He was like, man, I just really need a smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I had to go buy a whole new pack.
Oh,
so I was kind of mad.
New Orleans, so the price was out the wazoo.
No, actually, it was a little bit cheaper than what it
Really?
is here.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Well, New Orleans is the city of vices.
Yeah.
And then I got drunk, so I had a hurricane.
I think that's honestly the main reason you go to New Orleans. You don't really go there for, Comic-Con anymore. You go for the carnivals, you go for Bourbon Streets, and you go for the stories that follow.
We had fun. We plan on going back.
We'll eventually figure it out. It's not one of those shows. I would like to see another show circuit successfully pull off that one.
Well, it's like I've never really been a big fan of the Wizards shows anyway, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, it just seems like after they take the money for artist salary, they don't give a shit about us. Like, we're just the paycheck to pay for the actors and shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, interestingly enough, without getting too much into it, they've changed up their whole system now, so that you don't get to choose your space or choose one of 3 or 4 spaces. And the closer you get to a show's actual date, the higher your cost goes up for the table. So it starts at like $250 annual renewal, right? And then the next month it goes up to $300, and then 2 months after that it's $400. So
basically they're like, hey, if you don't want us to fuck you, you better buy this shit now, or we will go long and we will go hard.
Yeah, I suppose. I wouldn't really call it out the long, but you know.
Gosh.
But I don't know. Yeah. As many of you know, I did teach art classes for Wizard for 2 years, and I just, they decided not to do any more of the art classes, and so just for me, financially, it's not a prudent decision to do the Wizard shows, just because of the decline during the last several years. So that's pure and simple. That's all it is.
Well, and the problem I kept having is that it didn't matter like which Wizard World it was, because for a while I was trying to hit up as many as I could.
Yeah, it was a nice filler. It really helped with padding. Hey, I need to be able to pay for this next show.
And there was always a constant at those shows. People would come to the table.
Yep.
They'd be like, "Oh man, this is so badass! Blah blah blah! I love how you did this, this, and this." But I just spent all my money on so and so's autograph. And it's just, and it's weird. Like, yes, that happens at every show, but like, it wasn't as much of a majority as it was at Wizard shows.
Yeah, it was one of those constant trends. I get it.
Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, poor me, poor artist, but like, I don't know. It's one of those things where like, because for a while, like the cons were my main source of income.
Yeah.
So, and you don't go into business to break even.
Nope.
I have a question real quick for you, Chuck. Did you do C2E2?
Johnny?
No, I didn't.
No, Chuck.
Oh, Chuck. Sorry.
Oh, no, okay. You didn't do it because I'm trying to remember. You just did a show recently, though.
No, but I've had I edit for a lot of people, so a lot of books that I've worked on end up at C2E2 and all over the place. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's what, because I know I seen your name on a book, but I was I can't remember if you were there or not. But did you? Well, I know that you talked about a campaign you're going to launch pretty soon. You can't talk about it right now, though.
Not yet.
Yeah. Okay. We can't. We sure we can't just kind of just tease it out of you. Try to figure out.
Well, we're working on the next Belial, which is basically that's the original creator of Hell, and he's trying to take it back from Lucifer. So it's a little 4-issue thing that we're doing. We successfully launched issue 1 last year. It's out there. People are loving it. And so now we're working on and getting ready for the next one to come out a little bit later this year.
I wondered because I know that, Johnny's got to be saying that he does not like the Wizard World shows, even though everyone here knows that it's not funny, Lowell. It's not funny. Everyone knows that I got stock in Wizard World. And
how's that stock doing, by the way?
It's just over there laughing. It's not doing good. I was at 10 cents a share, but let's check in with Alexa. Johnny, might be a good time to disable your Alexa for a second. I'm gonna ask mine a question and hold on to here. I'll mess everyone's Alexas up out there. Okay.
I have Cortana.
Alexa, stock report for WIZD.
The skill. My tuner radio can help you with that.
Wow, she's totally off today. No.
All right.
Alexa, WIZD stop.
When the market
Should I
closed
play
on
the
Monday,
station WIZD
traded at
stop?
$1 and 50 cents on the OTC markets. Down 25.00% since previous close.
I am actually up, guys, $1.50.
Oh, woo!
I'm usually at 10 cents. I think it's time to sell. I think it's time to sell.
Sorry.
So you bought one stock of Wizard?
No. I didn't buy one stock. I was down. I was horribly down. So the stock market is down, but the Wizard World is up. That's weird.
That's hilarious.
But no, I didn't buy one stock. I wish I could have bought one stock. I wouldn't be so upset. No, but that might have actually got some money now. I need to consider selling that and find out how how much I can get now. Yeah, money may be back. Sweet Jesus, please. But yeah, Wizard World is doing a bunch of stuff, and one of the things they're doing now is that they have owners gates now. I get a special gate I can go into, which doesn't do me any lick of good because I'm a damn exhibitor. So I still can't get in. I'm still screwed. And I'm still paying like $400, $500 for tables. Hey, Larry Patrick Hickens in the chat. Larry says, I am LP, 6-year noob in the comic industry, arrogant and cocky young man, great big baby Yoda fan, writer, gamer, lover of hot Korean women, not at all a trusted member of the media. And yeah, I'm a lover of his hot Korean woman too. So
No, Ted tried to understand the context.
I am a lover of his fiance. I'm sorry. I just want to pick on Larry about his Larry's cosplayer. He's a slick cat. He is. He met a cosplayer, fell in love with her, got engaged to her, and got her to move in with him. So she's there with him now. He's very excited.
Yeah, that was in 3 days, right?
Yeah. He did.
I mean, I did that minus the marriage thing in what, a week? 2 weeks?
Did you?
No, it was like 3. It was like 3 weeks minus the marriage thing, and then it was like 2 months to get the rest of her stuff out after the relationship ended. But
How long did
anyways,
How long did your relationship last?
huh?
How long did the relationship last?
Too goddamn long for Josh.
4 months, I want to say.
4 months.
Three and a half, technically.
Did she go to con with you?
No.
No.
Technically, I convinced her to come to Albuquerque at one show, and she got to split a table with a fellow cosplayer.
Oh, okay.
That was a show that Johnny left early because it was subpar.
Yeah, that's putting it nicely.
But jumping back real quick onto Johnny's stuff, Varian, you got that graphic up showing all those other pieces?
I can do. We can bring that up.
These are all different titles that he has done through crowdfunding that have all been backed.
Yeah, look what we got here.
And completed and delivered.
Billy the Face.
Billy the Face. The Devil and I was a really, really strong, powerful series.
Let me take off that TMA for a while so we can see the logo. Of the rest of them.
Kind of dealt with just the concepts of a lot of topics, and that's again one of the things I enjoy. Harambe was definitely right after the whole Harambe incident,
And it's funny
hacking into people's emails and making sure they get hacked and stuff like that.
What's funny about the Devil and I was like I just got done with my 210 bean cans fucking story, which is just ridiculousness on top of absurdity. And when the first issue of Devil and I came out, I had people read it and they messaged me, or I even had some people at cons. It's like, you didn't write this. I'm like, the fuck you talking about? Of course I wrote it. He's like, no, I read bean cans. You didn't write this.
Yeah.
Like, well, goddamn, man. Like, I'm not, I'm not stuck on like stupid humor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a funny story. Or I thought it was funny.
I think they're all pretty darn good.
Love
Larry.
Chuck. I love Chuck ground beef too. All even the Chuck. Okay, yeah.
Everybody loves Chuck.
This motherfucker.
No one loves the Variant.
Hey,
we were messing with Chuck
the
about
Devil and I. Was that inspired by the song?
Okay, so I did the first issue, right? I had the first issue done for almost 2 months. Could not come up with a fucking idea for a title. Like, every title I came up with was just dumb. And then I heard that song, I was like, that title is fucking perfect for this story.
Yeah, that's it.
I think he's just got a new backer on Indiegogo, Johnny.
Really? That is awesome.
Kidding, but if anything, who knows? Maybe Chuck will get a commission. Who knows?
Jokes aside. we need half here at IndieVolt. We need 10%.
StreamYard.
Yeah.
Back to the StreamYard.
I do like the artwork. It looks really cool. And the Goodbye #1, The Last Reaper, and Seraphim. So it's all self-published, drawn and written by Johnny Segura.
Now, I do believe somebody helped with colors on Seraphim, or was it something else? I'm trying to remember.
On Seraphim, I was trying something different, and I did all the toning and line work and everything. My buddy Matt went over it with colors.
Yeah, so you did grayscale like what you did with Pipe Dreams, and then he went and did overlay.
Yeah, because like all my books, I like keeping all my stuff consistent. They're all grayscale, but with color splashes.
Yeah, they all have the same text type start framing as far as that as well, so there's uniformity for that, and just, you know.
And like, I don't know, that's one thing I'm real big on. Like, I like all my stuff to be consistent. Like, whenever I go from marker to watercolor to acrylic, like I like all my stuff to be in the same style. Because like I like it. I like whenever people can see something and they're like, "Oh, Johnny did that."
Right. I'm sorry. I thought that I seen another. Oh, that was a GIF image for the drink that Lola took earlier. He did a GIF of a guy throwing money out. Thankfully, it didn't show up on screen. But yet that looks pretty good. I do like the fact that you have so many different tiers here, and it looks like there it is. You got the 5x7 prints. Is that $65, right? $65. Shipping in April 2020. So 1 month.
Yeah, he's on point when it comes to production. Like, as soon as it's backed, he gets it done and then just prints it off.
And if for any reason there is any kind of delay, immediately I'm doing updates. I'm keeping in touch with people. Like, even at the bottom of the campaign, I have everywhere where you can contact me if you have any questions or anything like that.
Okay.
So we're not going to hear from you. Oh yeah, I paid my penciler $10,000, so
no,
I'm going to.
He's like, I paid myself $10,000. So
man, if I could pay myself $10,000, I'd be the happiest kid, man.
What happened? He left Lake Charles. He just up and left one day. Said something about Indiegogo out of here.
Yeah. For some reason, he deleted all of his social media and said, "quote fuck y'all."
He's leading social media.
He's a short order chef somewhere in Mississippi now.
I mean,
I just 80 or something.
Man, Waffle House is the shit, man. Like, I would work at a Waffle House.
If you could own a Waffle House and work it, I could see it being pretty fun.
$39K. I mean, that's like you said. Somebody said it earlier. It's a lot of hookers and blow.
I don't know, man. Inflation.
I don't give a shit how much it inflates. I can make $39,000 last a long fucking time.
Yes, likewise.
Yeah.
Like I would
MREs.
I would ramen and Dr. Thunder my ass for a long time.
I don't even need that. I just go and get the Dr. Pepper syrup, pour it in my soda stream.
You're not even treating yourself. Dr. Pepper, Dr. Thunder and ramen?
Yeah, he went with Dr. Thunder, and he didn't even say Muru-chan. He could have.
It's the simple things in life, my man. I just enjoy the good times.
Having a good time.
That's insane. I was trying to get Anthony Figueroa in here because he's from New Orleans. He's having some difficulties right now, so we'll let him come in later.
Technological difficulties
next week. But yeah, it would be cool to have him because we have two from Louisiana at the same time. He's got a book coming out called God's Hand. He actually bought the back image of IndieVolt.com. He has. The
You'd enjoy his design work, John. He's got himself a little bit of a Madura stylized to the artwork there. Yeah, just a little bit. It's very 90s influence, like late 90s, early 2000s.
I can dig it.
It's basically BRPD in New Orleans.
Man, you know who I miss? I miss Ringo.
I miss Ringo too. Ringo was possibly the first person that ever gave me inspiration in the professional industry. I was all set to meet him at Baltimore Comic-Con after like It was back on the days where you had like forums for artists. It was drawingboard.org or .net or something like that. And he was one of the few people that was like responding back and giving me tips and stuff. And I really sucked back then. I mean,
It was before Twitter. And
oh yeah, most before Twitter, yeah.
He was the first time I ever enjoyed Fantastic Four.
Yeah. And I was all set to meet him, and he passed away like 3 weeks before the con. And it was just one of those things where it was like Baltimore years ago. But
man, Michael Turner went too soon, man.
Yeah. I got so much Michael Turner stuff.
Impulse.
And Lola's always mad because I'm like, oh my God, it's Michael Turner art. And I'll buy it. And I'll buy anything on Michael. I've got a CD that Michael Turner did the cover for.
He's got this Walmart Lunchables backpack. It's only for Lunchables.
Oh, they make
they don't make Lunchables that size anymore. They shrunk them down.
If they put Michael Turner's artwork on a backpack, I don't care what it is. I'm buying it. It could be a girly backpack with bows and everything else. It could be purple. I'm buying it. I'm his biggest fan.
Looking skinny ass yellow Hello Kitty done by Michael Turner. Backpack.
It's up there with like if you still go on Pencil Jack, you got to search for it. But whenever they get into the art battles, like Jim Lee being forced to draw cartoony, it's hilarious. You know, he's like he hates it every single time. I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but the forums before it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But so jumping a little bit backwards. We were talking about the impact of, coffee, sicky nonsense earlier. So I'm out of Austin. That's in Texas, not Massachusetts. I like to think my diction is clear enough to say without a ba.
There's an Austin, Massachusetts?
No, Boston.
Oh.
Anytime I ever go anywhere outside of Texas and they're like, where are you from? And I go, I'm from Austin. They go, Boston? And I go, no. Austin. I'm not that Irish. Come on. But
so Josh, I'm in your neck of the woods. I'm in Canyon Lake. I'm like an hour away from you.
Yeah. So obviously the nonsense with Lori's show in San Antonio this weekend. And I don't mean nonsense with her specifically. Yes, McLean. What's up, buddy? Stalker. No, I'm kidding. It's one of those situations where They had a quarantine for I want to say about 80 passengers that flew in from China for 2 weeks. And they released this lady on her own recognizance or whatever have you. And about 12 hours later, they discovered that her tests came back as possibly contagious or weakly mildly contagious, I believe were the exact words that were used.
With coronavirus?
So they pulled her back and said, hey, we got to put you back in quarantine. Well, during this time, this lady in particular, she went to the local mall. And so almost all of the news right now is blowing up going, it's at the North Mall, it's at the North Mall, it's blah, 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 the San Antonio Mall. And so everyone forgets that this other mall, it's, the poor people mall, basically.
Oh, so it's not the Riverwalk Mall?
No, it's Wonderland. It's Wonderland.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really call it Poor People Mall. It's more like the mall that was really good, and then they built the really big mall, and so this is the old mall. The mall rat syndrome. Hey, we go over here because there's 5 stores there, kind of deal. There's a lot of really, on the positive, it helps support a lot of small independent businesses, so they can run in a larger atmosphere with a little more security. But their movie theater there is 18 and older. It's like hey, we only show select films, and we don't show kids movies.
Like a Paul Rubin theater?
What's that?
Like a Paul Rubin theater?
No, not like a Paul Rubin, Pee Wee Herman theater. It's blatantly imagine Flick's Brewhouse if they said no kids, or if they said Alamo Draft House or any of that. They were but it's a really old theater. The seats aren't, reclinable or any of that. It's all very rigid. It borderline feels like late 80s movie theaters. But they want you to pay more for the luxury of saying absolutely no babies, no kids, no infants. So people pay and it keeps them afloat. But aside from the movie theater, because of this, there's a lot of people that are afraid to go through San Antonio this weekend. Because it went down, and because this lady went to the mall that's next to this mall, they've shut down the mall that she went around and walked around.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so the reason I bring this up is I'm going to an event that's going to be at the Wonderland of the Americas Mall that's down the road from it this weekend. And I feel like this is something we barely touched on earlier about the concept of sensationalism. When somebody overhypes or over-dramatizes what's going on, most of the news is like, infected person at the local mall, at the San Antonio Mall. And it's like, there's a lot of malls in San Antonio.
Yeah.
You know, it's a large area. You know, that's like saying shirts in San Antonio. If somebody was like, car accident in San Antonio kills 23 pigeons, you know, and it's pigeons. They just say kills 23, and they're like, oh, it killed 23 pigeons. We're in back of the truck that, you know, set on fire outside of an 18-wheeler that just spontaneously combusted.
Well, I mean, nobody's going to watch it if, you know, you don't tell people you're going to fucking die.
Yeah, and that's part of the trigger news. That's what really bothers me. It's like, you know, you have social media that pulls the same thing. We've had this issue in San Antonio before where the local news outlets are either inspired by locals to write articles about other events the day before or 2 days before that event to try and cause detrimental effects. There's currently
You talking about Alamo City?
yeah. And certain celebrity things which I will never go to.
Well, you know, if we could just get rid of Rob's sites that do that constantly, sensationalism journalism.
Yeah.
We
Well,
just get
the
rid of,
issue
you
he
know.
runs
is he
into
here?
is we live
Oh my God.
in a
You're just-
land of sensationalism. Like
You're
it's
just upset that my sites get more hits. That's all it is. Admit it. You're upset I get more hits because I cover what people care about. People
mean,
sticking
you
things
know,
to other people. That's what
I would
cover.
argue that there is a difference. I mean, I know you're joking around right now, but at the same time, like I'd argue there's a difference between what people care about and what people are triggered about.
Yeah.
We've been dealing with a lot lately, in case you hadn't noticed as well throughout the news, where people are talking about, hey, suicide's up 72% in teenagers from 10 years ago. And it's like, yeah, so 10 years ago, we weren't being constantly bombarded with all of this craziness. But not getting so broad spectrum of it when it comes to affecting Comic Cons and the comic industry and the artist industry and whether or not we can back something. You know, when you put people in panic, you create this vibe where they're like, I want to hold on to my money. I want to hold on to all the things that I consider valuable and I consider dear. And I don't want to go out and talk to friends or family or experience new events or, you know, because I don't want to take the risk. And it's like, guys, just do some research on what the coronavirus actually is, because it has less symptoms than the standard flu or cold, as far as that's concerned. The reason why people are dying is because they're not medicating properly. You know, they're going, oh, it's just a cough, and keep working.
You're right. There are people that I've seen people put up bottles of Windex and jugs of, like, you know, medical like disinfectants, and one of the things that the virus that it says it kills is the coronavirus, not this particular strand, but
yeah.
I mean it is there. Real quick, from iNDIEVOLT Radio, we had someone write in. They said, and again, sorry, the English is a little broken, but they said, do you think it's a good idea, guys, that crowdfunding campaigns start to have a beneficiary or someone else in charge should you, and this should be required, should you fall ill, become deceased? Oh,
that's Johnny.
Before the campaign is completed, or, you know, to complete the campaign for you. So, for instance, I start a campaign. Yeah, if I die during my campaign or right at the end of my campaign, because I get that 49 grand, and, you know, I think
that's
over
an interesting concept. You know, you could just go ahead and create a false identity and go, oh, so and so died.
Well,
You know
no,
what I'm-
yeah.
In the grand scheme
what are you
of
gonna say?
things.
I'm taking it with me. Come
Yeah,
get it.
he's just gonna take all the money and be like, you can find it buried.
I'm
Rob's
going to
gonna
make
be
comics in
net
heaven.
treasure.
I'm going to heaven and making comics. You have to come find me first.
What's that? City Slickers? It'd be City Slickers 3, The Legend of Rob's Gold. You know, it's all in here. It's nothing but adult magazines. Adult magazines. It's supposed to be gold. It is gold. It's limited
Gold
edition.
magazines are gold.
what do you guys think about, like, should, like, it's say, okay, we need a secondary person that we can contact should, you die. and we
I
wanna
think that
find
there's
out.
a level of common sense that needs to be applied.
Mhm.
One of my favorite quotes to paraphrase is I sometimes wonder if I'm the sole surviving consciousness of the human race. When it's just like the concept of just having accountability is lost. Like, I screwed up. I didn't deliver this product. Here's the refund. Not giving a giant extra. I'm going to try and message every single person. I'm so sorry. Public apology. You messed up. You messed up. If someone's dead, you can't just be like, okay, well, we get to keep the money because they're dead.
Mhm.
You can make some modifications. You can make a choice. You can publish the book posthumously and make some edits accordingly. Find somebody to be like, hey, this person's dead. This is their last copy. You might actually be able to sell it for more because of that. Sell whatever your backlog is, but you have to honor your obligations. If I don't feel like going to life drawing class, at the local half-price book, I go, sorry, I'm not feeling it. I'm out. That same level of accountability as if someone's dead, and you, as their friend or spouse or anything like that, are going to be, in this situation with them. You have to try to see if you can have that level of accountability for them.
What were you saying?
I will say this, that if someone dies that's on Kickstarter right now, God forbid one of the creators we know dies on Kickstarter right now, I still think their book will come out faster than that detective book. I'm just saying.
I was going to be much more boring and logical and be like, well, technically Amazon makes you do 3 weeks and it only takes 2 weeks to declare someone dead. So the bank account would discontinue. And so then Amazon would send the money back to all of the backers. But
I just knew that I would have lost money.
That's just over again.
I would have lost money because I thought that Rob was going to go and say, well, no matter what, I think those books will come out long before Marcel's. But he didn't go there. Hey, I'm proud and surprised.
I applaud him. I thought it was funny.
Well, you know what? You know what the thing with Marcel is? He's just a river that keeps on giving. So I just expect the next news story to come. This detective guy, he's new. I've never really played with him before. I'm trying it out. It's new routine. It's new material.
The new
He
guy.
likes playing with new things.
Chuck, would you put a secondary person down in case you die while your book is?
I mean, I'd put my wife down probably or something just because, but I think it's a silly thing to ask for. You know what I mean? Like, what if you die? Okay, well, what if you die and then you never get the book?
It's an extreme reaction, right?
Yeah.
The last two things I kickstarted were Frank Cho, Ballpoint Beauties.
Mhm.
It's a magical book. And then I bought a playing card deck because I was doing some market research. Still haven't gotten that at all. As far as the cards, and they keep going, oh, well, you tried mailing it to you, and then it got mailed back, and I'm like, the address is right, and tracking's right, just never, for some reason, showed up in my apartment.
That smells like bullshit.
Yeah, it's interesting, because it's a hyperlink and everything, and he still promotes everything else through his old Kickstarter updates, which is an interesting tactic, on a side note. Going to your old, already funded Kickstarters and just throwing up updates on those for your new Kickstarter.
I can't say shit. I do that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if it works, it works.
I don't know, guys.
Hey, I got this new Kickstarter.
Because Rob was telling us about they're targeting people now for selling mailing lists. Is that what it is, Rob? Mailing lists?
Mailing list? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they're targeting people for mailing lists now, so you can't sell each other. I can't sell Chuck my mailing list. He can stop asking.
I gotta ask
You
Johnny.
can give it to me. You just can't sell it to me.
Yeah, Rob,
No, actually, you can't. According to Kickstarter, that's a term of violations now.
I can't even give it away now.
You cannot give away that. The backer information is supposed to be private, meaning you have the right to it.
Because you end up with their information, all of their shipping, their phone numbers, sometimes depending on what they send you.
For anyone who actually reads the term of service before you launch your Kickstarter, it's actually always been in there. Marcel Dupree. See, now I got to go to Marcel. You did it. You made me beat the dead horse. So Marcel Dupree, he buys them, and then when he doesn't give all the backers their stuff, he just buys a new list and cons a whole bunch of new people. It's a wonderful way.
Terms of agreement. All over again. It's Apple all over again.
Johnny,
if you died and your Kickstarter get funded, how would you manage that? Who would be your backup?
It's not my problem.
I don't know. I'd be figgity fucked, man. Like nobody likes my ass enough to take care of all that shit for me. Like,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Sam could like hack all your stuff and just be like, he's dead.
How you going, Aaron? How's it going?
Like, I've often wondered that, but then like I realized, like, man, I'm not lucky enough to die in the middle of a fucking campaign.
Could you imagine? Like, it's done and shipped off, and like, oh, I can finally go and buy some Popeyes.
What were you gonna say,
Johnny? If you want that to happen, just learn more about the Clintons.
Clintons, yeah, of course. Just the Clintons, though.
What were you about to say, Chuck? You put your finger up.
In the middle of my first campaign, I actually ended up getting a kidney stone. And I was on my fucking hospital bed being taken care of, doing fucking Facebook Live, telling people, I'm still alive, man. It's like, we're going to do this. Stretch goals, bitches. Stretch goals. Like, it's still there. So I can imagine.
I would ship this off, but I'm trying to pass something right now.
Right. I'm already trying to ship something out. But yeah, man, like,
cost is crazy.
That's really
just live watch of passing a kidney stone. Nope, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try and create this, and
you should have made it a reward. Who wants the kidney stone?
You can have it in a bottle. Pull the Jeff Foxworthy. Donate to charity.
And that's kind of like, wasn't that what Belle did? The girl was having people buy her bath water. Like, you can get Chuck's kidney stone. It's,
you know what? If it works, it works.
Yeah, my problem is I ask too much.
I did hear
like $200, and they're like, no, $150 maybe.
I did
make jokes about with if I ever do mystery boxes, like proper big ones, like the big crates. I'll just throw a bunch of stuff in the house I'm trying to get rid of, and be like, here's this broken iron, here's this cup that I don't use anymore.
Well, I did hear you can sell yourself on Kickstarter now for a night with yourself. What other creators are doing, it's what the cool kids are doing. So I might sell a night experience with me. See if anyone. Really, I probably have to pay someone to do it. But I want to see.
I know there's a bunch of whatever that one the celebrities are doing, where it's like, hey, you pay this much, and I'll do a voice actor line or a happy birthday, or I'll sing a song or something.
Yeah. And I have a funny story for Lola if she wants me to come on her program and talk about how I was propositioned for sexual encounters recently online.
Really?
Yes.
Was it a gentleman with a beard?
That was.
What was the gentleman's name?
What's that, Chuck? No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
What was the gentleman's name?
I'm not going to say who the name is because they're a real person and they were actually really serious. And they weren't trying. They weren't trying to act like they were going to pay for sex, but they were kind of asking for things. And I was like, "This is what I get for having the free hugs and spanks poster." It's all come back to me.
Yeah, they're like,
Mr. Hey man, you'll pay for that next issue somehow.
That just sounds like a benefit of the job, my man.
Right? And they're like, oh no, Indiegogo is not working. Time to go to this.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm not into 50-year-old men. I'm just, and I don't want to meet their girlfriends randomly in Fort Lauderdale suddenly.
He just wanted to give you an old fashioned in the elevator.
No. Just pretend. You'll be fine.
It was funny because he's like, "Oh, you don't have to be gay. It's not like that. I just want to have you come over and play with us." And I was like, "I don't think you understand what you just said."
Now, hold up a second. What if you get there and there's like Legos and like they have the really expensive like Play-Doh sets where like you can squeeze out like pickles that look like turds and shit? You know what I'm talking about? And like what if they have like or an Atari or something?
I mean, that's little. That's a whole different subject.
Johnny, they weren't asking for things like that. There was
they didn't want to. They didn't want to be littles.
Yeah. It wasn't daycare.
Lola said,
"Why do I know that? I shouldn't know that."
All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. But I do want to put back up Johnny's book.
Johnny's book.
Everybody, where they can come find you at, and where they can get it
now. Get it
now. And back this
There's
book
only 10 days left.
Yeah. Find it on Indiegogo. If you're interested in any of my other books, hit me up. I have limited supplies of all my other stuff, but I do have PDFs for everything. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just look up Johnny Segura III. And I'm everywhere, and I always have commissions open. And if you just want to message me to bullshit about life, I'm down with that too.
Yeah, Indiegogo lets you add on stuff like that, so you could add that as like add-ons to the tiers, like in case they don't have it. just an idea.
Yeah, and then Indiegogo also does it to where, like, if you're running a little bit behind, you can tack on more days to the end of your campaign.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, your book is on Indiegogo right now. Everyone should go take a look at it. He's got a PDF package. He's got the physical package. He's got the special Johnny Segura package, which you get a solicited dick pic.
Only if you really want it, because I'm not just going to send a random picture of my junk. Like,
not to Texas anyway.
You like doing the frog on the wheel, the dat boy.
I fucking love that boy.
Yeah. Dat boy.
Where can they find you at, Josh?
Oh, me? You can find me at Art of Josh Lyman on Instagram and the Facebook.
That's it.
Yeah. I deleted everything else. I deleted Twitter. Well, Twitter's for me, as far as that's concerned. I don't really post art on there. And I deleted Vero. I deleted Pinterest. I deleted DeviantArt. So I'm pretty much sticking my social media to that. And you can find me at Comic Cons. This weekend I'll be at the Lost in Wonderland event at the Wonderland in Americas in San Antonio. I might have one or two exclusive pieces for that weekend alone.
Dick pic?
No dick pic. It'll probably be like Jack with bunny ears or something like that.
No,
is that what the kids are calling it nowadays?
What's that?
Nothing.
Well, man, I'm losing weight and it's all skin and bones now. But it's weird, all the pointed ends and things. But I am gonna make a little Indiegogo ultimatum, whatever have you, is if we back this book by the end of the week through IndieVolt, I will happily do some art for Pipe Dreams.
Cool.
And then we're gonna throw it in the ash can.
The gauntlet has been thrown, IndieVolters.
And you know what? I'll second that. If it gets done within the week, I will do an 8.5 by 11 fully render of the two brothers, and I will randomly throw it into somebody's pack who backed it within this week.
Yep, and I'll throw in the original on mine as well. Make it even better.
Ooh, this is getting interesting.
Yeah, get the traditional line work up in there. See what that's like.
Yeah. All kinds of sexy.
Yeah. As long as I get to draw a kaiju dragon, life is good. They want to draw a monster. And if you guys haven't seen my work, as far as Johnny's concerned, give me one super quick second. You're in second impressions. Well, there's one of them, at least. There's a Harambe for Special Agent Harambe. There's another one in here, of course, the angry one. Ruh. And then there was some Devil in Eyes in the first impressions. I don't have one of those lying around here.
Nah.
But, that's another shill for another day. So, yeah, Johnny, book, go back so you can get new stuff that wasn't available before.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Chuck, where can they find you at?
You can find me, Chuck, T-I-N-E-A-U, on Facebook, at Chucky Pin on Twitter, and you can find me on Chuck's Raw Reviews on YouTube, where I talk about some of my favorite indie comics, and I talk about them and tell you all about where to find them.
Excellent. And of course, the man with the fetish agenda, the India Devil, who you can buy a night with now. You can buy a night with Rob Anderson right through his next campaign. A Night with the Devil. Where can they find you at online?
Well, they can find all the amazing creators that are good to be seen. Any one of you guys have something, we're happy to put it on IndieAdvocates.com, the Global Digital Comic Con. You can find my personal information not just on the IndieDevil.com, but on every website on the internet, as I now own them all. So all of my stuff will be in the bios. Just look for my links. It's fabulous. You'll love it. You're welcome for all I do for you guys. You're welcome.
We love you, Rob.
I'm sorry. It's so messed up. Also, now Lola has, again, her own show every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. She has Geekgasm. That's right. Geekgasm, only on IndieVolt.
Only on IndieVolt.
It's horrible. It's a show where you don't know what they're going to say. This is awesome, but you never know what they're going to say. It's a lot worse than here. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So yeah, she's gonna have Rob on tomorrow. So I seen stuff in the thing.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
put
that's all.
together
Yeah, we'll send
three
to us.
Zoid models today.
So yeah, IndieVolt. Make sure you tune in
Yeah,
there
I'm doing that.
on Geekgasm, and then you have me, Varian Grant, kid underscore V on Twitter. Find me on Facebook.
Where do we
Varian
find
Grant,
you again, Varian? On Twitter and Facebook?
Kid KYD underscore V.
Do you have the same thing on every single social media outlet so they can find you easily?
Pretty much.
Pretty much?
Varian,
Pretty much. Yeah.
this is breaking news. I'll give it to you for your program. DC has just canceled every single show that they had in March.
Yeah.
DC will not be going to any convention in March.
No.
It officially just came out at 9 p.m. I waited to see if someone else backed it because the first person I saw do it, I didn't trust the site.
Yeah.
But it has now gone to 2 or 3 different sites. So it looks official. This virus is going to be killing Comic Cons in March and April. So in Florida, that could be MegaCon being taken out.
Ooh, that's not good.
That would suck.
Yeah.
That would suck.
I got
This virus-
timeshare reservations for that weekend.
Yeah, that's a big one to miss out in Florida because some old people are getting sick.
Looks like the virus just took Chuck too. He just went out.
He ran. He didn't want to get the virus. He took off. He's like, I'm out of here.
He's like, I'm staying in the middle of the country where we can't get sick.
That is shocking. All right, guys, we're gonna end it here. Again, though, real quick, let me pay some bills. If you want to get your question on the show, you can do so by going to IndieVolt Live or emailing us at IndieVoltLive@IndieVolt.com. Please include IndieVolt Live in the subject and keep those emails to 90 words or less. Also, I want to thank everybody listening to us. All of the 2,243, just moved to 44 people. Listening on IndieVolt Radio. IndieVolt Radio, take us with you wherever you go. IndieVolt Radio is the perfect companion to our official website, IndieVolt.com. IndieVolt Radio plays the best in indie music, entertainment, news, and more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He music from talent like Par Squares and Alleys and Dims One. Download the IndieVolt Radio app on Android's Google Play Store or listen in with the streamer app on iOS. You can also check out IndieVolt Radio by visiting our official site, IndieVolt.com, and utilizing the built-in player right there at the bottom of the page. And finally, that's right, finally, IndieVolt TV is the over-the-top streaming service available on Roku and coming very soon to Amazon Fire Stick and more. Stream independent movies, music videos, wrestling, original documentaries, and more on IndieVolt TV. And did I mention that it is completely 100% free? That's right. So if you're scared of getting sick, stay in the house, watch IndieVolt TV. Find IndieVolt TV by searching the channel store on your Roku device or Roku-enabled television. That's it for us here, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate you watching. Stay safe out there. Don't back any comics that don't promise to get them to you within the next couple weeks. We might not be here. No, I'm just kidding. IndieVolt. This has been an IndieVolt presentation. We are not owned by Disney yet, but you're available. That's it for us here. We will see everybody back here Wednesday, tomorrow night for Geekgasm, and then Thursday morning for the IndieVolt Breakfast Buzz. I have been Varian Grant. You all have been awesome. We'll see you then.